Hello and Assalamu alaikum. This is Ali Abbas and I'm here with my new video, and this is basically related to past paper session, and it is session number 4 and May June paper 1, 2 and 2022. So going to start this paper quickly. Going to question number 1. In question number 1, it is being asked that you have to work out two of the fractions, 2 by 3 and 1 by 6. We have to add them. So for adding them, we have to make the denominators same. In order to make the denominator same, we have to take the LCM of 3 and 6. So LCM of 3 and 6 is 6. So how to make this 3 as 6? By multiplying by 2. So multiplying and dividing both of the terms, numerator and denominator, by 2. So then it is basically 1 by 6. 2 times is 4. 4 plus 1 and whole divided by 6. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 by 6 is the final answer for part A of question number 1. Moving ahead to the question number 2. If there are two decimals, we can multiply them directly in the rough work, or we can remove the decimals and divide by you can say, count the number of digits after the decimal. There is 1, so we can divide by 10. So multiply by 2 over 10. So 4 2 times is 8. 8 and 10 times is 100. So if we divide by 100, we have to shift that decimal point, which is normally at the end of any number, any integer. So we have to shift two decimals towards left. One is 8, and we have to put another 0 in front of 8, and it becomes 0.08. It is the answer for part B of question number 1. So moving ahead to question number 2. In question number 2, the table is incomplete and as well as the pictogram. So the key is mentioned. A complete circle is representing 4 people. So in part A, we have to complete the table and as well as pictogram. So how to complete the table? Look at the table. Bananas information for the frequency is incomplete. So complete circle is 4, having 4 people. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 4 is 12. We can write down 12 here. What about melon? Means one is completely 4, the other one is 3. Means 1/4 is missing. So 4 plus 3 results in 7 of melon. So how to complete the pictogram? So for pictogram, look at the frequency table. There are 8 number of people who have the favorite apple. So 4 is basically representing for the complete circle. If we draw two complete circles, it is representing 8 people. How to represent 5 persons for oranges? 4 persons is to be represented as a complete circle, and 1 person is to be represented as 1/4 of the circle. So this is the complete information about this frequency table and as well as the pictogram. Moving ahead, what's the mode? We have to write down the mode. What is the exact figure? So which one of the fruits is having the highest frequency, means highest number of people? So it is obviously banana. It's having 12 number of people. So we can write down banana here. So this is question number 2 for you. So moving to question number 3 on to the next page. So what's being asked here? So basically it's coordinate geometry concept. A quadrilateral is having two vertices A and B, which are already mentioned here, and there is a line which is basically line of symmetry for that quadrilateral. So if the line is something like y equals to negative x or y equals to x, then the line of symmetry must be having, you can say, quadrants must be shifting. If we move this point to this point, if we are moving 1 unit on x-axis, we have to move from this point in y-axis of 1 unit. So what about the other point? We have to tell the other two vertices of the quadrilateral onto the other side of this line. So moving ahead means moving towards, this is having 1 unit here. So we have to shift 1 unit in y-axis, vertical direction. So this is one of the vertex of the quadrilateral onto the other side of line of symmetry. So for this, in order to find this, we can see clearly it is 2 units below that line. So we are moving in y-axis. So I have told already, if you're moving in y-axis to reach that point, so after reaching that point, we have to shift rightwards, and how many units? same as the number of units means two boxes here, so we have to shift 2 units towards right. So this is basically the new point. So how to represent in terms of coordinates means 4 is represented here 4, and what about the y coordinate? It's 2, so we can write on 4 and 2. What about the next one? This one is to be represented in vertex form, so it is exactly above 3 and it is rightwards towards 4 on y-axis. So 3 and 4 is the answer for the vertices of the quadrilateral, coordinates of the vertices. So moving to question number 4. In question number 4, part A, inside house temperature is given 18 degrees and outside temperature is also given. And you have to tell the difference. Difference is basically subtraction of minimum temperature from the maximum. Maximum is 18. Then there is a subtraction sign for the difference. And the value of the temperature is also negative. So negative and negative becomes positive. So 18 plus 3 results in 21 degrees centigrade, which is the overall difference between the temperature inside the house and outside the house. So moving towards next question. In next question, it's of basically limits of accuracy, that thermometer of Luke is measuring the temperature correct to nearest degree. So it means that nearest degree centigrade. So this is the basically limit. So we have to divide always by 2 and it results in 0.5 degrees centigrade. So what's being asked in the next information? At midnight, the thermometer measures the temperature outside -6 degrees centigrade. So outside temperature is given. So what we have to do, we have to find the upper bound. For finding the upper bound, we have to simply add the temperature with the accuracy parameter, that's 0.5. So if we add 0.5 into -6, so what's the result? Result will be -5.5. Subtraction of 0.5 from the bigger number, which will be 5.5, and sign will be of the bigger number, that's negative. So -5.5 degrees centigrade is the answer for part B, for having the upper bound of the temperature outside at midnight. So moving towards question number 5. In question number 5, there are 2 points which are given, point A and B, and norths are mentioned as well. The scale drawing is having shown on the, you can say, paper, that there are two villages, A and B. So what we have to do, the scale is basically 1 centimeter to 2 kilometer. Every 2 kilometer represents basically 1 centimeter on map. So what we have to do, what's being asked, the actual distance of village A from village B. So for in order to have this, we have to join these 2 points with a line and then measure the length of this line with the help of ruler. So starting from this point, so starting here and ending here. So what's the exact value? The exact value is basically it's almost 94. We can say almost 94. So if it is 94, so 94 millimeters are basically representing 9.4 centimeters, because 1 centimeter is equals to 10 millimeters. So for converting from millimeters to centimeters, we have to divide by 10. So it's 9.4. So what about the actual length? So 1 centimeter is basically representing 2 kilometers. So what about 9.4 centimeters? So we have to multiply 9.4 with 2 kilometers for finding the actual distance between two villages. So 4 2 times 8, and there is a point. 9 2 times is 18. So 18.8 kilometers will be the answer from village A to village B. What's to be done in the next part? We have to find the bearing B from A. Of B from A means we have to start from the north of A and moving clockwise and towards reaching towards the point at where that point B is lying. So what we have to do, you can measure through protractor, and answer must be in between 71 degrees to 75. So you can write on any of the answer. You can measure, it will be 0.72 something. So basically, if the angle is in 2 digits, so you have to write down 0 before it, because it's a bearing. So for bearing, you have to write down 0 before a two-digit number. So moving quickly towards question number 6, it's related to simple interest. The simple interest we have to calculate after 4 years. So simple interest formula is PRT over 100. What's P? P is the amount invested at the start, that is 250. What about R? That is the rate of interest, and it is 1.5, and T, time period, is 4, whole divided by 100. So we can cut down 4 with 100 for 1 times, and for 25 times is 100. So 25 and 250 can be cut. So 25 1 times and 25 10 times 250. So for the multiplication of any decimal point with 10 is basically shifting that decimal towards right. So how many digits towards right? It is one digit towards right. It becomes 15. So $15 is basically the simple interest after 4 years. So we can write down dollars 15 here. So it is of 2 marks. So if you have done the process correctly, you will get 2 marks. So going to question number 7. In question number 7, there is a figure which is given that the complete shape is a rectangle, and in a rectangle, there is a triangle which is unshaded. So how to find the shaded area, shaded regions area? It's basically solving the complete area. We know the area of the rectangle, and we know the area of the unshaded part. If we subtract unshaded parts area from the shaded part, we will be having the shaded parts area. Means subtracting unshaded part from the whole figure. So in order to do this, we have to make the unit same. So 1 centimeter is basically 10 millimeters, I have already told. So what about 1 centimeter squared? Because it's the area, so it must be 100. Zeros must be doubled for having the square. So it must be 100 millimeter square. So in order to convert 85 millimeter square into centimeter square, we need to divide with 100, because converting from smaller unit to bigger unit, we have to divide. So it must be 0.85 centimeter squared. So the complete area is 9. So we can say 9 and minus the unshaded parts area is 0.85. So after the subtraction, the result will be 8.15 centimeter square, which will be the area for the shaded region. So it must be 8.15. So what about question number 8? For question number 8, it's a pentagon, five-cornered figure. So A is unknown. A is an angle which is unknown, and all of other 4 angles are given. So how to find an angle unknown? Means we must know the sum of the interior angles of any polygon. So I'm writing down here for your information. If you have to use in any other question, you can use it. Sum of interior angles of any polygon must be n minus 2 times 180. N is basically the number of sides of any polygon. In this case, n must be 5, and sum of interior angle is basically it must be A plus 95 degrees plus 110 degrees plus 125 degrees and plus 65 degrees. It must be equals to n. What's n? I've already told it's 5. 5 minus 2 times 180 degrees. So you have to add all of these angles. So 95 times plus 110 will be 205, and 205 plus 125, it must be 330, and adding 65, it must be 395 degrees for all of the other angles except A. Summation of all of the other angles except A. So 5 minus 2 is 3. 3 times 180 results in 540 degrees. So subtracting 395 onto the other side, bringing that thing. So after subtraction, the result is 145. So A must be 145 degrees. So this is all from question number 8. So now we have to solve question number 9. So in question number 9, it's basically sequences question. A pattern is given, means pattern A, pattern 2, and pattern 1, 2, and 3. Pattern numbers are given, and number of counters, we can see it's we can say arithmetic progression, we can see clearly there is a difference of 3 in between 5 and 8, and similarly 8 and 11 the difference is 3. So the pattern number 4 is having number of counters must be 14, because 11 plus 3 is 14, and we have to add 3 into this 14. It results in 17 for pattern number 4. So this is of 1 mark. If you've done it correctly, you will get 1 mark. So part B, we have to find an expression in terms of n for the number of counters in pattern n. For pattern n, this basically means we have to find the nth term. So it's a arithmetic progression. We have to write down the formula an equals to a plus n minus 1 times d. So a is the first term. First term is basically 5 here, plus n minus 1. What's the common difference? The difference between those two numbers is 3. So open the bracket. So what's the result? It is 5, and 3 times n is 3n, minus 3 one time is 3. So write on 3n, and 5 minus 3 is positive 2. So an is resulting in 3n plus 2. This is the answer. So moving towards question number part C of this question number we can say 9. So in part C, there are total 100 counters, and they're saying that she uses some of the counters to make pattern 20. So basically n is in this case is 20. N in this case is 20, and she uses all of the remaining counters to make pattern k. So if n is 20, we can find the number of counters for pattern 20. So I'm solving for pattern 20. For pattern 20, what we need to do, we have to put n equals to 20. In this formula, we can say it must be 3 times 20 and then plus 2. 3 times 20 is 60, and 60 plus 2 is 62. 62 are the number of counters that are used for pattern 20. So we have to find the other pattern for which the remaining counters must be used. So remaining counters are 100 minus 62. What's the answer of it? The answer of it is 38. So 38 is to be used for finding the value of k. So now I'm putting for pattern k, I'm putting n equals to k. So I'm writing down 3k plus 2, which must be equals to 38. That are the number of counters which are given. So what we need to do, we have to simplify and find the value of k. So bringing that 2 onto the other side, it will be 36. So 36 minus 38 minus 2 is 36, and 36 divided by 3 results in 12. So 3 1 times and 3 12 times. So answer of k is 12. So if you have any queries related to sequences or any of the topics, you may let me know in the comment section. Moving towards question number 11. In question number 11, what's to be done? They said use a straight edge and compasses only to construct the bisector of the angle PSR. Bisector of angle means that we have to draw an angle bisector of angle PSR. This is the angle, and we have to draw a bisector. So how we can construct it? There is a simple way. I mean, draw this kind of line here, an arc here, and then put your compasses on each edge of equal width, and then draw arcs like this. Means put compass here and open a specific range of compass and draw an arc here, and similarly put your compass here and draw an arc here as well. Now join the points and you will be having angle bisector will be completed like this. We can say angle will be bisected like this. So moving quickly to the next part, what's to be done here? In the next part, they said that point X lies inside quadrilateral. It is inside quadrilateral PQRS, but it is closer to PS than to RS. So angle bisector line will tell us quite easily that which region is closer to PS than SR. So it's obvious this is the region which is closer to, we can say, line PS than to RS. So moving ahead to the next question, which is question number 12. So in question number 12, we have to write down our answers into, you can say, correct to three significant figures. How we can write down answer in three significant figures? We have to start from, you can say, left and check the starting zeros are not significant. So you can say this is first 0.00, and then the very first significant figure is 2, and after 2 in between, you can say non-zero number 0 is significant. This means that this 0 is also significant. It will be the second significant figure, and third will be this 3. So after that 3, it is 5. So we have to add 1 into that 3. It becomes 204. 0.00 and 204 is the answer. So moving quickly to part B of question 12, in which it is being said that it is, you can see each number is correct to one significant figure, and we have to write the estimated value. So square root of 3.93. So 3 is the very first significant figure. Look at the very first digit after the decimal point. After that 3 will be 9. It is greater than 5. So we have to add 1 into that 4. It becomes square root of 4.0, or we can say 4. Multiply by 63 will be rounded off, or we can say to one significant figures. It becomes 63. Oh, it will be 60, pardon. It is 60.0, you can say 60. And then divide by 0.4. 4 is the very first digit. So after that, it is, number is smaller than 5. So we can write on 0.4. So square root of 4 is basically 2. 2 times 60, and remove that decimal sign, it will be 4. And similarly, 10 will be multiplied in the numerator. So 2 1 times, and 2 2 times 4, and 2 1 times, and 2 30 times. So 30 times 10, the result is 300. That is the estimated value of the given fraction. Moving to the next question, we have to evaluate, and evaluation means we have to take the powers, means multiplying the powers with the powers. So square root of 9 will be multiplied with power of 2 and multiply. What's cube root of that? You can say 64. It's a perfect cube. So answer of this is 4. So 4 square we will write. So square root of 9 means it will be cut. So 3 times 4 square is 16. 3 times 16 is 48. This is the answer for this part. So moving to part B. In part B, we have to write down an irrational value of n that satisfies the inequality. So irrational means any number that is non-terminating plus non-recurring will be the irrational number. We can write down any number greater than 4.5. We can say is 4.6, 1, 2, 7, 4, 3, 5, and so on. There is no sequence, no recurring thing which is occurring when this, you can say, type of number. It will be irrational. Any number you can write down in irregular manner, we can say non-recurring thing, and it will not be terminating by writing down these dots. So moving to next question. In next question, it is being said that we have to write down the numbers from the smallest to the biggest. So for writing down this, we need to understand, you can say remove the powers of 10 in order to understand. So 2 times 10 raised power negative 4 means we have to remove that. You can say we have to shift decimal point 4 units towards left. So one is this 2, we have to put 3 zeros before that 2. And what about this? We have to, you can say, shift 2 digits towards left. It will be 0.02. So you can see which of the number is the smallest one. The smallest one will be 2 times 10 raised to the power of negative 4. And after this, it will be 0.002. Next one is 2 times 10 raised to the power of -2, and last one is 2000. So this is question number 14 part A. So what about 14 part B? It is of, we can say, standard form question, and we have to find the values of A and B. How we can find the values of A and B? How you can find the values of A and B? Simply, we can see A times 10 raised power of -7 and divide by 5 times 10 raised to the power of B, which is equals to 4 times 10 raised to the power of -16. Remember this thing, all of the numbers are in the standard form. All of the numbers are in standard form. So we can just subtract the powers of 10, and similarly we can see A times 10 to the power of -7 and cross multiplying this 4 times 5 and multiply with 10 raised power of -6, and this power will be added here, it becomes plus B. So A times 10 raised power of -7, which is equals to 20, and times 10 raised to the power of -16 plus B. So if you compare these two, can we be having answer of A equals to 20? No, because it is not in standard form. We have to make it in standard form. What's the standard form of 20? 20 can be written as 2 times 10. It will be the standard format. Multiply 10 is of -16 plus B, and it is equals to A times 10 raised to the power of -7. So this power of 10 is having one power of, you can say 10. So it will be added here, -16 plus 1 will be -15 and plus B, which is equals to A times 10 raised to the power of -7. Now we can compare. A must be equals to 2. A must be equals to 2. What about B? B we can find out through the powers of 10, in which will be -7 equals to -15 plus B. So now bringing 15 on the other side, -7 plus 15, the result is positive 8. So 8 will be the answer for B. If you found the values of A correctly, then you can be having answer of B correctly, because you have to show your answers in standard form. We have to change 20 into the standard form. This is the main thing for this question. Most of the students do this mistake and write down A equals 20, which will not be the correct answer. So moving to the next question of variations, it is saying that it is directly proportional to x minus 1 whole squared. So after removing that equals to sign will be placed, and k times x minus 1 whole squared. So putting these two values, x equals to 5, 5 minus 1 whole squared, and similarly y is 32. So 32 over 4 squared, 5 minus 1 is 4, 4 squared is 16. So 32 divided by 16 results in 2. Similarly, we have to replace this value here, 2 times x minus 1 whole square. Now replacing x with -2. So 2 times -2 and -1 whole squared. The result is -3 squared. So -3 squared is 9. 9 times 2 is 18. So 18 is the final answer for y. I hope you understand. If you have any queries, write down in the comment section. So moving towards question 16. In question 16, there is a graph which is to be which has been plotted here, and the equation of means the function's equation is given, y equals to x cubed by 5 minus 3x plus 2. So what we need to do, we have to draw a tangent estimated. We have to estimate the gradient of the curve at x equals to -1. So where is x equals to -1? So at x equals to -1, we have to draw a point on this grid. It will be this one. And now draw a line which is moving outwards to this curve, and then we can be having a straight line, and then we can estimate the gradient of that straight line. So I'm drawing a line that will be not like this. It can be passing through it like this. and we can take any of the points on this line and then we will be having our answer. So one point is this one, -1, and the value of this is, we can say it is 4.2468, 4.8. We can say -1 and 4.8. What about another value? Another value we can see here at 6. 6 is completely given. So what's the value at 6? At 6, the value of x must be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It must be -1.5. So x and y values are given. So we can, I can say, simply find the gradient thing. So we can find, it will be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2 is 6. We can say 6 minus 4.8 divided by, what's the x value of at 6? It is -1.5, and it becomes positive because one is negative is in the value of x as well. So a negative in the value of formula as well. So 6 minus 4.8 is 1.2 divided by, it will be minus 0.1. Decimals will be cut with decimals, so it will be negative. So 1.2 divided by 1. What's the result? It will be 12. Decimal will be moved with decimals, so we can say -12 will be the gradient. So this is the answer. This is the estimated answer for the gradient. So what about the next question? In next question, we have to draw a suitable line on the graph, find the solutions of the equation x cubed by 5 minus 3x equals to 0. Look at the function first. What's the function? Actually, function is x cubed by 5 minus 3x, x cubed by 5 minus 3x, and then plus 2 here. So if we bring that -2 onto the other side, it becomes +2 onto the other side, it becomes y minus 2, and you can see the right hand side of both of the equations are equal, mean x cubed by 5 minus 3x are equal. So y minus 2 must be equals to 0. Y minus 2 must be equals to 0. From this we can say have the equation of line, that is y equals to 2. So how to draw y equals to 2? It is a line that is parallel to x-axis and it is exactly passing through that, we can say, point y, means y-intercept. So we have to draw a line y at y equals to 2 and then finding the solutions for x. So it must be starting from here and passing through this. So this is a line y equals to 2, and at y equals to 2 we have to check what are the answers for x through which this line is cutting the graph. So one is this point. At this point we can see it is almost in between -3.8 and 9. We can say -3.85 at x. What about the next one? And next one, it is cutting exactly at 0. You can say x equals to 0. And the last one must be 3.85 something. So it is the estimated answer. So any number in between the range will be your answer. So -3.85, 0, and +3.85 are the answers. +3.85. So these are the answers. So moving towards question 17, it is saying that each of the diagonal of quadrilateral Q divides it into two congruent isosceles triangles. Means two triangles of having, you can say, exactly all of the corresponding angles and sides are equal, and same as two of the sides are equal as well. So we have to draw a ring on each of the shape in which this statement is true, because Rian is saying this. What about square? If you draw square, in square all of the sides are equal. If we draw a diagonal of it, we can see clearly these two sides are equal, and these two sides are equal for this triangle. Means both of the triangles are congruent, and as well as individual triangles are isosceles as well. Next one is rectangle. For the rectangle, we can see two sides are equal. If this side is equal to this is equal to this. So if we are making a diagonal, so can it be having means no of the sides are equal in individual triangle? So it is not satisfying. What about rhombus? For the rhombus, it's basically a square and it is being tilted. Means although the sides are equal. So in this kind of shape, we have to drawing the diagonals, and we can see these two sides are equal, and as well as this triangle is congruent to the other one as well. So rhombus is basically proving this. Not the parallelogram. Parallelogram is basically tilted form of a rectangle, and we can see it's not proving for trapezium as well. So for trapezium, it is basically, you can say, it can be like this, and these two are just parallel to each other. No other information is completely satisfying. Trapezium. What about kite? Kite is like this. So these two are, you can say, congruent triangles, but these sides are not isosceles. These are different sides. So it means that it is not satisfying. So only two shapes, square and rhombus, are satisfying the statement which is written above. So moving towards the next part. In the next part, two of the triangles are drawn, and X is the midpoint of line AB. What does this mean, line AB? It means that this side is equals to this side, means AX equals to XB. This is the information given. What about other informations? AXB and CXD are straight lines, and AC is parallel to DB. It's mentioned as well. Show that triangle AXC is congruent to triangle BXD. This triangle is congruent to this one. One of the information is given. If one side's information is given, there are, you can say, different, you can say, rules for finding the congruent triangles. So one of them is we have proved one side, but what about the other sides? What about the other, you can say, reasons? We have to tell that whether these two triangles are congruent to each other. When two lines are parallel, so angles in the alternate directions are equal. Alternate interior angles are equal. So we can say angle CAX, angle CAX angle CAX must be equals to angle DBX. Angle DBX. So these two angles are equal, and we can write down the reason. It is basically alternate interior angle property. Alternate interior angle. So what about the next angle? The other angles are also having the same thing. Means this angle must be equals to this angle through the same property, through alternate interior angle property. ACX angle A, C and X is equals to angle BDX. So the same property, alternate interior angle property, and the last information we can write down AX equals to XB, which is already given, alternate interior angle. So last information is side AX equals to BX or XB, the same thing. We can say these two sides are given because X is the midpoint. So we can write down given in the question. So if two angles are equal, one side is equal, we can write down through double AS, angle, side, or ASA, we can write down the same thing. Triangle AXC is congruent to triangle BXD. So moving towards the next question, I think this thing is clear to all of you. If you have any problems, then do let me know as well. So in the next question, it's inverse question of function. So function is basically y equals to 3x minus 7. So we have to make x as a subject in the first part. So y plus 7 equals to 3x. Divide that 3 onto the other side, it becomes y plus 7 overall divided by 3. So now replacing x with f inverse of y, which is equals to y plus 7 divided by 3. So now replacing y with x, and that will be the answer, x plus 7 divided by 3. So moving quickly towards question number 9, let's write down f, means find p union q. Set p is a, e, I, and q is f, g, h, I, and j. So what are the repeating elements? We don't have to write down the repeating elements again. This is only I. So I can write down the answer in the set notation form. It is a, e, and I, and similarly F, G, H, and J from Q set. So this is the answer. No element must be repeated in sets. So in the next question, we write down the number of elements. S means number of elements. P complement means other than P, and intersection with Q union R. First of all, recognize what is Q union R. Q union R, I'm just figuring out here. Q union R means no element must be repeated, but you have to write down all of the elements one time. F, G, H, I, and J, and I will write down these elements as it is. What about R elements which are not in Q? That are C, D, E, F, and G are already done. So this is basically Q union R. We have to take, we can say, intersection with P complement. What does P complement means other than A, E, and I? We have to write down other elements that are B, C, D, F, G, H, and J. We have to take intersection of these two sets. We have found it out. Intersection of all of these must be, we can say, C. One element is C. What about other elements? Is D coming here? Yes, D as well. And E is not coming here. F, what about F? F is coming. Yes, we can write on F here. Similarly, G is also written here, and similarly H is also in J. So how many numbers of elements are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 6 is the answer for this thing. If you written down 6, that will be fine. Any number other than this will be resulting in 0 marks. So moving towards question 19 part B. The shaded part is given. You have to write down the answer in terms of set notation. So how to write down in set notation? Look clearly from this diagram. Which set is not completely present in the shaded region? We can see B is not completely present. We can write down B complement as it is. Complement means other than B, any region outside B. So this region is not lying in B, so we can write down B complement. And what does B complement? B complement involves all of the region outside it. So will it be any kind of intersection with something? Yes, it's having intersection with A and C's intersection. So it means that we can write down A intersection C, and then intersection with B complement will be this specific region which needs to be shaded. So moving towards next part. In next part, it is basically angle properties. So we have to find ADB angle. Where does it lie? A, D, and B. So it is basically, O is basically at the center, and it's having the property that angle at the center is basically double of the angle which is made at the circumference. So 70 divided by 2 results in 35 degrees. That will be the answer for angle ADB. So what about the next question? BCD angle. Where is it lying? B, C, and D. So how we can find it? angle B, C, and D. So for finding angle BCD, we must require this angle as well. Why we are requiring this? Because 25 and this angle sum is basically opposite to angle C, and these two are supplementary because these two are cyclic quadrilaterals angles. So I'm supposing this is angle A. So how to find angle A? This is isosceles triangle. Why? Because there are two radii that are joining to the third line. So angle at the other third line must be equal. So A plus A means 2A plus 70 degrees equals to 180 degrees. Sum of all the angles of triangle equals 180. So subtracting 70 from 180, it will be 110. 110 divided by 2 results in 55 degrees. So 55 degrees will be the angle of A. So 55 will be this angle. So 55 plus 25 will be 80 degrees for this angle. So angle at A is 80. So angle BCD plus 80 degrees equals to 180 because isosceles triangles angles or opposite angles are basically supplementary. So bringing that 80 onto the other side, 180 minus 80 results in 100 degrees. So 100 degrees is the answer for it. So I hope you understand this property. If you're facing any kind of problem, do let me know. So moving towards the next question. In next question, this is algebra, means we have to factorize. Factorization involves midterm break. Why? Because there is nothing common in all of these terms. So 6 times 4 results in 20 and sign of 24, and sign of that 6 is negative. It means that both of the factors have different signs. So we can check in rough work. So 8 and 3 are the factors that are going to multiply. It results in 24, and subtraction, it results in 5. So bigger factor must be having positive, the other one must be having negative sign. So taking common, 4 will be the highest common factor, 4x, and then x 4 plus 4 2 times 8, the negative 3, and inside the bracket x, and their sign will be changed, it becomes positive 3 2 times 6. So x plus 2 will be written one time and multiplied with 4x minus 3 in the other bracket. So it's the result of the given question's factorization. So in part B, it's basically indices question where to simplify them means powers. Power will be multiplied. First of all, recognize what is 16. 16's prime factorization, or we can say whether it is square of something, because power is 1 by 2. It means that we have to just take square of it. So 16 square is square of any number which results in 16 is 4 squared divided by x raised to power 6 and whole power negative 1 over 2. So how to make powers positive? We can just take the reciprocal inside the term. So it becomes x raised to power 6 divided by 4 squared whole power 1 over 2. So whole power becomes positive, and by taking simply reciprocal of the terms inside the bracket. So power will be multiplied. So x raised by 6 times 1 over 2 divided by 4 squared times 1 over 2. So and 2 will be cut to 1 times 2 3 times. So x cubed divided by 4 is the final answer of it. Moving towards the probability question. In the next question, a bag contains 9 letter tiles, isosceles, which is written IS, and similarly goes on till S. So what we have to do, Nu takes one tile from the bag at random. He notes the letter and then puts the tile back in the bag, means he has taken and replaced it. So find the probability that she does not take a letter E. Does not letter E, basically we have to just look at the tiles. How many E's are acting? There are 2. So does not means we have to subtract from probability of E from 1, means 1 is the complete probability of the complete event, certain event. So after subtracting 2 by 9 from 1 results in 7 or 9 is the probability that E type is not occurring. In the very next part, in part B, Noor now takes 2 of the 9 letter tiles at random without replacement and find the probability that both tiles show the same letter. What we have to do, So what we have to look that the total tiles are 9 and it is not replacement question, and both tiles have the same letter. So which numbers are repeating? S is repeating 3 times. We can write down S, and the other number which is repeating is E. So what about the probability? Because these two are the events that are having the same letter tiles. We can see clearly the tiles of S is basically, we can say it's 3 and overall tiles are 9. Similarly for E, it will be 2 over 9. So this is a probability of individual, you can say repeated letter tiles. So similarly, moving ahead to the second one, S and E. So it is without replacement. When S is chosen, so we can see number of S will be less and total will be less as well, 2 by 8. Similarly, I can say the total of E will remain same and total will be 1 less. Similarly, if E is chosen, what about, is there any impact on S? It is having no impact on S. It will be 3 and total is 8. Similarly, when it is E is chosen, 1 will be less and total will be 8. So which of the tiles are having the same letter tiles? So actually we are saying that same letter tiles are S and S, and similarly E and E. No other tiles is repeating, so that's why we have taken these two tiles for our answer. So you can say P of same tiles must be equals to 3 by 9 times 2 by 8. This is the first event, 3 by 9 times 2 by 8. Then we have to add, it's another event. It is 2 by 9 times 1 by 8. E's are repeating here. 2 by 9 times 1 over 8. Denominator is 72. We can just write on 72 1 times, 3 2 times 6, and plus 2 1 times is 2. So 8 over 72 cut down and it results in 1 over 9. So 1 by 9 is the answer for this probability question. I hope you understand. If you have any queries, I will make some other videos related to probability and explaining each type of questions related to probability, especially for the tree diagram and other questions. So moving ahead to the next question. So in the next question, there is, you can say, a major sector of circle which is given with a radius of 3 centimeters. Area of the sector we have to calculate and write down our answer in terms of k pi. K is an any integer, means any number with pi must be written here. So we have to find the area of the sector. Diagram shows the major sector of circle with center O and radius 3. So what we have to do, the angle is given. It is outside angle. Sector is this thing basically. So for finding this thing, we need angle of this one. We have to subtract 80 from 360. It will be resulting into 80 degrees. 280 is the angle. So area of sector is basically equals to angle divided by 360 times pi r square. R is a radius, angle is in between the both of the radii in the sector. So it is basically 280 degrees divided by 360, and pi will be written as it is, and R is 3 squared. So we can simplify it. You can say it is 9. We can write down 280 times pi times 9 divided by 360. 0 will be cut with 0. 9 1 times, 9 4 times, 4 1 times, and 4 7 times. Answer is 7 pi centimeter squared for the area of this sector. I hope you understand. If you remember the formula of the sector, then you can do it quite easily in few steps. In the next question, we have to solve. Solve means we have to find the values of x. How you can find? So x is occurring in the denominator. So we have to cross multiply in the first step, which is equals to 3 times 3x plus 10, opening the brackets, multiplying them. 2 minus 5x equals to 3 times 3 is 9x, and plus 3 times 10 is 30. So bringing constants onto the one side, minus 5x and minus 9x equals to 30 minus 2. What's the result of 30 minus 2? It is resulting in 28. And what about this? It is minus 14x. So minus 14 will be divided onto the other side. 28 by minus 14. 14 1 times 42 by 2 divided by minus 1 is minus 2 is the answer for this question. So it's basically simple linear equation question. It's not that much hard. So I hope you understand this. So moving ahead to the next part, we have to write down as a single fraction in its simplest form, x minus 2 and 2x plus 1 are different terms. There is no factorization of one term into another term. So actually we have to multiply. You can say this denominator 2x plus 1 with 3 and divide it with as well in order to make the denominator same so that we can add or subtract the numerators. 2x plus 1 and then minus 5 times the opposite one, it will be x minus 2 divided by x minus 2 times 2x plus 1. So denominators are same. Now we can make the numerators same. So simply writing down one time x minus 2 times 2x plus 1 and numerators will be multiplied, it will be 6x and plus 3. So this negative sign will be considered with this 5. So minus 5 into x will be minus 5x. Similarly, minus 5 into minus 2 becomes positive 10. So adding and subtracting like them, 6x minus x will be x and 3 plus 10 is 13. So no need to open the brackets in the denominator. It is x minus 2. So it is x minus 2 times 2x plus 1. So this is a simplified answer, x plus 13 overall divided by x minus 2 times 2x plus 1. This is the final answer we've written down in the as a single fraction in its simplest form. So now coming up to last question, question number 25, in which it is being said that we're to find OR vector in terms of C. So look at the diagram. OA is given as A vector and OC is C. And what about OR? O is O till R and the ratio is given. OC's ratio is 2 and CR's ratio is 3. What about the total ratio? The total of these ratios means O till R must be 5. So which vector is given? Actually OC is given, the ratio is 2. What about OR? OR we need to calculate. So the ratio of OR is 5. Similarly, OC's vector is given C and we don't know the vector of OR. Simply cross multiplying it is 2x equals to 5C. 2 will be divided, so we can say 5 over 2C is the answer for OR vector, which we have to write down as it is here. So we need to find the next vector CQ. CQ is not mentioned here, so we have to join C with Q. So what we need to do, join C with Q and then representing the arrows towards Q. So is there any other vector given? R till Q. What is R till Q? Look at the other diagram, the other information, OA and OP. OP is basically 4 times of A. So it means that it must be 4A. So RQ must also be 4A. Similarly, how we can find CR? CR can be found out through the ratio, same OC ratio. CR, we know C's ratio, that is 2, CR ratio is 3. We know this is vector is C and we have to find, we can say it's Y. So Y is basically 3 over 2C. So 3 by 2C is the vector of CR and it is heading towards R. So both heads are joining, 4A must be positive. Similarly, both tails are joining, tails means the vector CR is also taken as positive. So we can write down 4A plus 3 over 2C. This is the answer of CQ vector. So the last part, basically the areas ratios we have to calculate of both of the parallelogram OABC and OPQR. I'm simply You can say making the parallelograms and writing down their ratios as well, corresponding ratios. So we can say this ratio O till A is given, that is 1, and O till C's ratio is also given, it's 2. Similarly, we have to make the bigger parallelogram, that OPQR, O till P, and it is Q here and R here. So the overall ratio from O till R we have found out already, it's 5, and O till P's ratio is also given as 4. Similarly, we have to find the ratio of both of the areas. So what is the area of parallelogram? That's length times width, but in this case it's not the actual, but it's the simplified one, because we have to find the ratio. So what about the you can say this parallelogram's area? It must be in terms of ratio 1 times 2, similarly 5 times 4. Now simplify them to 1 times 2, 2 times, so 1 divided by 10. Now we can say 1 ratio 10 is the final answer. So if you have any queries related to this, you can say these type of questions or any type of questions from paper 1, you can write down in the comment section. And this is all from today, and kindly subscribe if you haven't, and just follow me for further videos related to P1, and after finishing this we will move to P2 as well. So share my channel as well. So Allah Hafiz, take care.